So it started from like 3.2. Now the prices for the 3 beds around 8 million. So it's more than double. 4 beds around 4.2 to 4.5. Now it's hitting 11 million. There was a recent transaction at 11. And so there's everything in between from 1 million all the way to 250 million. I think that was the highest transaction in one of the mansions in Hills Grove, as far as I remember. Oof, Dubai Hills is a lot. So
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of our podcast. I'm here with Omar, as usual. And this time we're going to do the market breakdown or the project breakdown. As last episode, we teased a little bit about Dubai Hills. Today we're speaking on Dubai Hills. So, Omar, if you can just give us a start. What is Dubai Hills? Who's the developer? The history behind it? And what's ready in the community as well?
oof, Dubai Hills is a lot. So if you can see the shape of Dubai Hills, it's like split into two. It's like I would say it's like two lungs, the right and the left lung. So 11 million square meters size of the community. The owner of the plot, or like of the master community, or let's say the plot itself, is Miras. Now this is part of the name of the original land on this is Hadaiq Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, which means, that's in Arabic, which means in English, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Park. So this is basically the royal family of Dubai area, as like farmhouse. It's their desert and stuff like that. So this whole area was empty. It was just a desert for them. Now, the idea came about where Miras wanted to build a community. Emaar actually wanted to build a community over here, and the owner of that plot is Miras. So it was a joint venture between Miras and Emaar. Miras didn't build anything. It was Emaar all the way. Some plots were given to private developers, some minor plots, that's it. But most of the community, I would say 95% of the community was built by Emaar. Now, there's a lot of variety. Why I love Dubai Hills is because it starts from like Amar doesn't build studios, but there is another couple of developers that build studios. So it starts from, let's say, studio up to mansions. So there's everything in between, from 1 million all the way to 250 million. I think that was the highest transaction in one of the mansions in Hills Grove, as far as I remember. So how Dubai Hills started was around, I think, 2015, where it was at the residential park. So Dubai Hills consists of park, a residential park. It's the biggest residential park of a golf course. It has a mall. It has 3 schools. It has a hospital. It has clinics. It has tennis academies. It has this. It has a lot of stuff. And also, obviously, like any community would have their own retails. So Amar obviously facilitated the community with retails. Plus, what's good about this, about Dubai Hills compared to, let's say, Emirates Living, because this is as a massive scale, even though it's a bit smaller than Emirates Living, but this is as big as the scale of it as Emirates Living. However, Emirates Living was kind of missing out on commercial. They did do it in Greens area. It's part of the equation of Emirates Living, but it wasn't that much. Now, Amar wants to build more commercial in here, so it will make this community more active. Now, speaking about Dubai Hills Mall, that's like, it's just a bit bigger than Mall of Emirates, and obviously smaller than Dubai Mall. The hospital, King's College Hospital, one of the finest hospitals in the city, in the country actually also. Then you have 3 schools by GEMS, all of them by GEMS. You have Wellington, you have GEMS International, and you have Millennium School. The park is around 180,000 square meters in size, which, I mean, there's not a lot of residential parks in Dubai, in a community, in a private community. There will be one coming up, which is Central Park, which is beside City Walk. I don't think, it's not as big as Dubai Hills even. And then obviously you have the golf course part. Obviously it's a championship golf course, which is 18 hole. Now, I want to speak a bit on the left side. So, let me split this into 2 phases. So, left side and the right side, because they're kind of different. The right side is a bit more premium. Left side is, I mean, it's still expensive. It's not that cheap. But I would say it's like kind of the affordable hyphen in hyphen. So, apartments on the park, Acacia, Mulberry, they were the one of the first apartments that came up, and they are kind of in the most demand apartment wise up until recently, because it turned mostly into end users, and don't like there's so few that want to sell. So demand shifted to other apartment buildings such as Park Heights, Park Ridge. Now, why people loved Acacia and Mulberry? Because they're the bigger in size than the other buildings, and they're directly in front of the park. Now, there are other residential buildings directly in front of the park, still off plan, most of them, and the sizes aren't the same as Acacia and Mulberry. Then there comes Sidra and Maple, which is like the people's favorite. This is the most transacted clusters in Dubai Hills. So Sidra 1, 2, 3, Maple 1, 2, 3, which consists of Sidra is independent villas, Maple is townhouses. 3, 4, 5 bedrooms. Obviously, doubled up in size. Maple, not so much. Like I would say 1.6, 1.7 times the original price. And when they launched, it wasn't a high market also. So it was reasonably priced. It was like 1,100 dirham per square foot. Right now, it's the Maple I'm speaking about. Right now, it's around 1,700, and there is room to increase. Whereas in Sidra, it launched around the same price, 1,150 dirham per square foot on average, and it went up to 2,000 dirhams per square foot plus. So yeah, also the same thing, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms. There were a lot of I would say demand in Sidra and Maple. Then comes I would say there is Collective, which is a significant project that launched over here because of the sizes. I did mention that in an Instagram video before. There was Park Heights, Park Ridge. Park Ridge also had something significant with them, which is executive residence. They actually wanted to launch Park Ridge ABC. However, they've launched Park Ridge third building as normal Park Ridge C, and Executive Residence 1 and 2, which they changed names from Park Ridge because they have done a twist to it, as in get a commercial license for free. Because when they launched it, it was at COVID times. So Amar thought, you know what, let me launch these two buildings, and they're testing out, by the way, because Amar tests out a lot of stuff. Like they tested out with Collective, if you know the story of Collective. They said, let's give a commercial license with the apartment, and have like commercial space in the building itself. So work from home, basically, because of the COVID times. So that was a nice idea. I mean, it did find success. And yeah, so that's as far as the left part. Now, obviously, I didn't touch on Address Hillcrest. Now, Address Hillcrest came in kind of weird, because Address Hillcrest is obviously the luxury sector of Dubai Hills villas, but it was placed in that part of Dubai Hills on the left side. It was an empty plot, and they didn't have. I mean, Amar obviously had several plans, looks like, but then they decided to build the first residential villas branded by Address, which is significant, by the way.
Yeah.
Not so much. I mean, 138 villas were they around. Compared to, let's say, if you were compared to the Sidra, the total villas in Sidra was around 1,280 villas. So you can compare the difference. I mean, that's 10 times the price. So lower inventory means more prestigious community or cluster. Prices will increase, and obviously the branding with the less inventory, stuff like that. So yeah, that's for the left side of Dubai Hills. Now, the right side, and obviously I didn't speak about this. So Dubai Hills is very well located in comparison with other communities. Now, obviously it's not the better location than, let's say, Emirates Living, where it's on the Sheikh Zayed Road. However, Emirates Living is massive. To get out of your villa to hit the highway, you need time to get out. The speed bumps and left and right and this and that to get out of the community to go to Sheikh Zayed Road. Whereas in Dubai Hills, you're like, it's kind of designed in a way where you're like in and out quick. There are speed bumps and stuff like that, but it's not as massive as Emirates Living. And the design of the roads, where the accessibility is much better. Plus, you're in the middle of the city. You're like 15 minutes away from downtown, 15 minutes away from Dubai Marina, JBR area. Whereas in Emirates Living, you're much closer to the Marina side than downtown. And obviously, it's a newer community, contemporary style villas, so it's a bit modern than, even though the quality wasn't top notch, but the better quality than Emirates Living.
Hmm. Okay. What about the right lung, the expensive lung?
So in the right lung, we need to find a name for these two. By the way, I feel like we can brand
Lung
out a name.
works.
No, I will say a lung, but it looks like a lung, kinda.
Yeah.
Um, Now, obviously, there is a road splitting those two lungs, which is Al-Marabi'
Yeah.
street. And by the way, this street stops at this green area over here. Like it basically stops
Yeah.
midway. Apparently, RTA in the future will expand this road or like extend this road all the way to Barari side to connect to Mohammed bin Zayed, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Highway. So you have direct accessibility from Khail to Mohammed bin Zayed rather than going to Suqaim exit or Latifa exit, which is the other end of Dubai Hills. So accessibility, amazing because you have also the Suqaim, and later on in the future there will be a metro stop right beside the mall. So the red mark over there at the mall, there will be a metro stop over there. So accessibility will be connectivity will be also amazing for public transportation. Now the the right side of the line, or my right side and left to the viewers, the premium side of Dubai Hills, which is expensive.
Yeah.
I will touch on quick of like say club villas and golf grove. So the idea of club villas and golf grove is semi-detached villas, lower inventory, with kind of a resort living. It's not so much a resort, but you're facilitating to them, especially club villas, not golf grove, a special kind of living, which is basically the golf course living. They're very limited. Club villas is around 150. Semi-detached villas, 2,600 plus square foot built up, 3 and 4 bedrooms. Prices more than doubled, and there was a lot of demand also on club villas. Like I said, lower inventory always increases prices, shoots and prices by a lot. So it started from like 3.2. Now the prices for the 3 beds around 8 million. So it's more than double. The 4 beds around 4.2 to 4.5. Now it's hitting 11 million. There was a recent transaction at 11, and still I feel like it still can go for a bit more. Now they're facing a mini golf course. That's the resort living. Like basically you're living in a house where you have a golf cart, direct access to the clubhouse. Oh, by the way, another thing, the clubhouse is just across Club Villas. It's like 2 to 3 minutes walk to the clubhouse, where it's like the main center, like main center of attention in the master community. So it's premium living. Golf Grove, on the other hand, didn't find so much luck. So it's at the end over here down. They have parks and stuff, but it's not so as premium, even though they were launched at the same prices as Club Villas. But they didn't have the same golf community resort living type of house over there. Now, after that is the bigger villas, which is there is golf place, there is parkways, fairways, two types, fairway vistas and fairways, which I'll explain. Lamborghini Villas, Majestic Vistas, which was branded by Lamborghini, and Palm Hills, which is branded by Ali Saab. Golf place. Also, limited inventory, 250 in total, 250 villas around. Bigger sizes than Sidra, and obviously a bit finer touches to the finishings, to the interiors than Sidra. So obviously prices are a bit higher. Now, anything that's facing the golf course is always the biggest unit. So it consists of 4, 5, 6 bedrooms. 6 bedrooms, all of it were facing the golf course, the highest price. I remember the prices were around 12 to 14 million starting price. Right now they're crossing 35 million. One went for 52 even. So, yeah, I mean...
What was so special about that unit for it to hit 52?
You know what? I have no idea. Maybe it was vacant. And by the way, I did hear, I don't know so much about that transaction, but I did hear that Emaar was the one who sold that unit. Because usually Emaar, when they sell a community or sell a cluster, let's say for example, they keep some with them for either for rent. They rent out as an investment asset portfolio for them, and they expect the prices to go up. So that's when I sell those 10 properties that I keep out of 250, let's say for example. So as far as I know, that 52 million was Ammar's, and they didn't. It's like, you know, when someone is like, this property is for sale, and it's there, it's at 52. You want it or no? It's
Yeah.
like I will not negotiate. It's like I'm not in a hurry because I'm Ammar. I have a lot of properties, a lot of money and stuff like that. So I'm not stressed about getting this offer right now. 10 years later, it's there for sale. You want it, pick it up. 52, and it's also vacant. It was also on a. I won't say. It was kind of in a good place, located and facing the golf course.
Yeah.
However, there was an. I don't want to go too deep on that unit, but anyway, it went as high as 52 million,
Mm.
which is crazy, by the way. I want to speak also about fairway vistas and fairways, parkways vistas. Now, same name, but it's just a vista and no one without vista, one with vista. It's basically plots and so fairway vistas are built by Ammar. So that yellow line over there, fairway vistas are built by Ammar. Fairways is plots sold by Ammar. So obviously Ammar took the
Plots.
better plots because it's the front line facing the golf course. So it said, let me build on it and sell it for the premium rather than selling it as plots because there's so much you can ask for a plot at that time when they launched because it wasn't the highest market. It was a kind of a, I wouldn't say low market, but it was like mid market. It was still selling out. Fairways, plots. Sizes range from, I forgot the sizes to be honest. I think from 12 to 17,000 as far as I remember. Parkway vistas, the same thing. Parkway vistas, front line, the yellow line one, built by Ammar, so they can sell for a higher amount. And parkways is plots sold. Now they have parks in there. Emerald Hills, all of it was sold as plots. Now this was the biggest cluster with the amount of plots sold in Dubai Hills. So Emerald Hills, all of it were plots. Ranging sizes from 7,000 all the way to 12,000. Obviously, there is like 3 lines. So front line is always the most expensive, like I said, and it's the bigger plots that were sold in there because they're facing the golf course. I want to speak about Majestic Vistas, Lamborghini Villas that were branded by Lamborghini, and Palm Hills by Ali Saab. They are, I would say, the less favorite or less transacted, or you wouldn't hear much about it. There's not a lot of demand on it or a lot of requests on it because I think, now I might be mistaken, but I think because of the construction updates, or there is not much inventory for sale for it in the current market. Lamborghini villas were around 40 villas, frontline. All of them were frontline. Starting price was around 30 million. They had 2 collections, V10, V12, 2 different styles. However, 6 beds. I know that's a bit cheesy with the V10 and V12.
I was about to say, yeah, it's very cheesy. Yeah.
And then Palm Hills, the row behind it, around 92 villas, 5 beds, branded by Ali Saab. So they were ranging between 5,500 to 7,000 built up square foot. And they're a bit slow. They're not in, and it's like, I don't see it because I specialize in Dubai Hills. I don't see a lot of people asking for Palm Hills so much because they don't hear about it so much. Construction progress, I think, is a bit behind.
Yeah.
However, obviously, right now they're in full force because ever since COVID, everything just went postponed. However, for those, they want postponed a bit, so it was a bit late. Now, so yeah, I mean that's the brief. There is also now if we'll go to higher premium, which is Hillsview, Hillsgrove. Now these two are the most expensive clusters in all of Dubai Hills. These are like the Beverly Hills, and also by the way, because of the name Hillsview, Hillsgrove, they're kind of above ground. They're kind of elevated than the rest of the community. So you look at it, you see the villas a bit raised up when you drive around the community. The villa, I wouldn't say villas, mansions, because they're big in size. They're elevated a bit. So it gives that premium look. It's like, wow. Whoever designed that, by the way, the architecture of the master development itself is amazing, by the way, because everything is so well integrated. Now, Hillsview, Hillsgrove were sold as plots, big plots, up to like 35,000 square foot. And these are where the transactions 200 million plus happens. So the last one, I think the highest one went for 250. Obviously there will be a lot more coming in the future. But I feel like the premium Dubai Hills, which is like, let's say Hillsview and Hillsgrove, found the attraction of going up in price so high quickly than Emirates Living. quicker than Emirates Living. So Emirates Living, they're hitting the transactions of 150, and there was apparently, as far as I heard, a mansion that sold for 750 million last year in summer. Now I don't know what happened to that transaction, but I heard there was a transaction like that, 750 million. That was very quiet, confidential sale apparently. So yeah, I mean, the rise in prices in Hillsview and Hillsgrove went up rapidly.
Was Hillsgrove also sold as plots, or was that only Hillsview?
Hillsview and Hillsgrove, both of them sold as plots, but big plots. So mansion-sized plots.
So regarding an investment, I mean, is it common for Dubai projects to be selling as plots? Because I don't really see it that often where, developers, they'll sell plots rather than just off-plan, just construction, apartments or townhouses. Is it a common practice here?
I mean, obviously, there are developers selling plots, however, not a lot, because they wouldn't make most of their money from selling plots. They would make most of their money by building and then selling that property. They would try to be democratic, I would say, and say, okay, here you go, some plots for sale, and I'll price it reasonably.
Yeah.
But other than that, resale prices for these plots, because it's very limited in Dubai, just like you said, they went up in price for nothing. So I basically bought a plot. I didn't do any upgrades. I didn't do any rentals. I didn't do any building, and I sold the plot as is. It's the laziest approach to real estate investment, by the way.
But do you think the approach works, considering that there's not a lot of plots in Dubai, or do you think it's better to buy something that's going to be built on, whether that be an apartment or a villa, townhouse, whatever that may be?
Plots always wins, especially wherever the location is, and also it depends on the demand later. So if there is demand in the community, if there is demand in that area, it depends now on the price level. How much will it increase? Can it increase double the original worth? Because there's so much I can ask for a plot to resell it.
Yeah.
I cannot be asking for a ridiculous price unless it is waterfront. Now plots waterfront, just like crazy prices, because that's very limited. That's like, imagine plots around Dubai are limited. Freehold plots for sale are limited. Waterfront plots are even way more limited, so they just shoot up in prices. Like in Jumeirah Bay Island, Palm Jumeirah, whoever has a plot, it's 10x right now in price. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. So we spoke about a lot of investments regarding the premium or the left lung. What about the common side, Sidra, Maple? How did the investors go over there?
Well, I would say the most on the left side, the most people that made the most money would be Sidra and Maple. The apartments are picking up right now. There's a lot of demand right now for apartments. I feel like because apartments are a bit late, when this community started being a bit mature, the demand was always on the villas and townhouses. So they shot up in price. Like we mentioned in the previous episode, it's supply and demand equation.
Yeah.
So the demand was higher than the supply. So prices shot up for the villas and townhouses. Now for the apartments, there was supply, not that much demand. So it didn't go up in price that much up until recently. I would say like 6 to 8 months ago, the prices started going up for apartments. Now there is more demand in apartments. Also because people are like, oh, I had 5 million to buy, let's say a Maple, a 5-bedroom. Now they're asking 6 million, 6.5. Some people are asking that. It's not the market price right now, but it will get there. So rather than that, I will buy a 3-bedroom apartment facing the park in Mulberry or Acacia. So people are starting to shift. Oh, I can't afford the townhouse now. I can't afford the villa. So I'll go... I wouldn't say villa even, because who can't afford the villa will go to the townhouse.
Yeah.
So it's basically affordability, and also there is a lot of traction from the, I wouldn't say less or affordable, or like people with less money.
Yeah.
But it's like everyone wants to live in Dubai Hills, whether he has a 1 million budget, whether he has a 250 million budget. So people started realizing that apartment buildings in Dubai Hills are amazing to live in, because of the community, to walk around, and it's very pet friendly community. It's the first time I'm seeing such a community with like everyone is walking with dogs. That and Shoba Heartland, everyone is walking with dogs. You go to the park, oh my god, you just like a dog land over there. I don't know if that's even a word, but everyone's walking with dogs over there. It's such a nice community. It's such a... But obviously, in this weather, you won't see a lot of... in
walking
summer.
In 50-degree weather.
Exactly. But in winter, packed. And like from I would say from November up until March, April, it's packed. The park is packed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would say the people that made the most money in that part would be Sidra. Later on, I would say Address Hillcrest. Hillcrest didn't pick up in prices. The starting prices for Address Hillcrest was around 21 million, up to 25, depends on the location. And oh, by the way, it is a lagoon community. So the villas are facing the lagoon. So there are villas facing the bigger side of the lagoon. There are villas facing the smaller side of the lagoon. Obviously, the bigger side of the lagoon will be asking for more money. And starting price was a bit more than the smaller side of the lagoon.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would say this here first, so that let's say 3 years down the line, if it goes to that price, Omar said
Clip
so.
it.
Yeah. So I'm saying 3-4 years down the line, once Address hands over, I would say it can go up to 35 to 40 million. So almost I would say double the price. So whoever invested 21, it can go up to, let's say 35 to 40 million, almost double in price. That's what I'm saying, because you don't see villas branded by the Address. And this is an ego purchase. Because I want to say my address, or like my address, literally, it's like, so no pun intended, my address is Address Hillcrest. So let's say it's like Burj Khalifa, for example. Whoever bought in Burj Khalifa, even though the layouts weren't the best, there is no ventilation because there's no windows and stuff and no balconies. But my address is Burj Khalifa. When I say come to my place, it's in Burj Khalifa. So it's an address.
Yeah.
So is this. It's like I'm living in an address villa. There is nothing like this.
Yeah.
So I feel like later on, the people will start picking up on this later, not so much now. Because it's still a new test for Emaar. Like I said, Emaar always tests stuff.
Yeah.
Usually addresses is in like hotel, residential apartments. Now it's villas. This is the first one as villas. Is it going to be the first and last? Because let's see if the test passes, obviously, and they went shot up in price and there is so much demand on it, Emaar will come up with another community that's address branded villas wise.
Yeah.
Maybe even townhouses, maybe even semi-detached villas like Club Villas and Golf Grove, where it's limited, but with like a brand resort living type of with some facilities here and there, like how Club Villas is a mini golf course for them. They're all the 4 beds is overlooking the golf course, golf carts and a clubhouse. There is a lifestyle to this living in Club Villas. So yeah, I mean,
I heard Omar wasn't gonna do branded residences besides their own, right?
Yeah,
Address
I mean,
and
yeah, obviously.
Do you think that will increase the prices somehow? Maybe less supply, right?
It has. I don't think it has nothing to do, because whoever, let's say for example, if Emaar was to do something branded by St. Regis, they won't buy this property because it's St. Regis. They'll buy it because it's Emaar. Oh, St. Regis is an additional thing to that property, but I'm buying it because it's Emaar.
So nobody buys it because it's St. Regis kind of thing.
I mean, it's like that's an additional. It's like a cherry on top of the cake.
Yeah.
But Emaar is, like I said, is always a winner. So it's like people will buy Emaar regardless if they do a brand this, do brand that, and they stop doing. I mean, they said they will stop doing branded residences outside of their already owned brands, which is Address, Vida, Palace, and so on. Which is a good decision, by the way, because they're getting monetized off my own brands rather than other people's brands. So yeah, I mean, that's the brief of Dubai Hills. Now, we didn't mention a lot of prices. You can ask me. I mean, I would say the best investments out of all of this would be... Oh, this is a tricky one because everyone made money in Dubai Hills. I don't know, like a property that didn't... Oh, first of all, no property over there went below original price. Let's remove that.
No
doubt.
MR project 90% of the time goes below.
Yeah, especially Dubai Hills. But the people that made the most money are obviously, because this is mostly a villa townhouse community. However, people say that, but they want to build up to like 22,000 apartments compared to the villas and townhouses, which are 4,600 villas / townhouses. So more inventory in the apartments. And by the way, if you take a look at that, that's very less. It's a low density compound in the right side of the Dubai Hills. It's not a lot. Like if Palm Hills is 92 villas, Lamborghini Villas is 40 villas, Golf Grove is around 166, Club Villas is around 150, Golf Place is around 250. So nothing is crossing 1,000. So all over this compound could be 2,000, 3,000 villas. I'm guessing if I were to add them totally, but it's low inventory. It's not that high inventory, unlike other places. So yeah.
We briefly spoke about Dubai Hills, the best investments. You said the Club Villas.
I would say like if I was to analyze out of all of this, I would say the best investment was Club Villas, Collective. I mean, if you had money, Hillsview, Hillsgrove, like money, because the plots were like 30 million plus.
Yeah.
Because I think at that time it was like 1,000 dirham or 1,200 dirham per square foot. So I mean, if you're buying for 30 million and then building on it and then reselling it for 200 plus, 250 plus, that's a lot of money.
That's
And fairways, parkways, golf place won a lot also.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
So besides Sidra, nothing on the right lung.
no. I mean, Maple also did a lot of money, and Mulberry and Acacia did also.
Yeah.
And I did mention Collective. Collective is on the left. Collective was a smart. It's not like wow money, but
Yeah.
it was such a smart investment because it's such a low entry ticket. I mean, low entry ticket. It's such a like a small sized
Low
property.
ticket community.
Yeah, low ticket building and low ticket Amar property to get in the investment with Amar basically. So it's like Dubai Hills is amazing. That's what I can say. And obviously the commercials. Amar doesn't sell commercials. They only rent out their commercials.
Why not?
Because they want to control the commercials. They don't want to, because look, if I sell the commercial to you, I don't have control on you as an owner, as an investor, to who you rent out this property to, this commercial property to. So I want to control that because I don't want all of the commercials given out to supermarket or pharmacies or gyms. I need to be very not besides being very fair and stuff like that, I need to make it like a balanced retail in a community, residential community. So I want two pharmacies only. I want two big hypermarkets only. I want a barbershop. I want a nursery. I want this. So imagine you give it to someone, you don't have any control. So Amar does not sell their commercial, whether it's retail, whether it is office, whether even their offices, the office buildings are all rented out. It's as far as I know, it's not for sale unless someone purchased the full building. But unless also it's like it's not for sale. Even in the commercials, the buildings, the office buildings are not for sale. They're all for rent.
Not for sale, quote unquote. Everything has a price.
I mean, no. I mean, Amar has a lot of standards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they want to control their commercial. That's the main goal out of all this. They want to control their commercial. Who do they rent out? Because in rent, now I can agree you rent or not. You give me a proposal and I can accept or no, me as Amar.
Yeah.
But if I sold this property to an owner, to an investor, and that investor, he gets to decide.
And
Because
they
he's
don't
the
want
owner,
that.
not Amar. So he gets to decide which one will give me the most money, even though I might not accept this sector or this industry as a retail here. Something like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I hope I described all of. And by the way, there's a lot of stuff still upcoming in Dubai Hills as far as apartments. Obviously, villas, townhouses, plots, all gone. As far as apartments, there will be a lot of commercial coming up later in the future in that area on the right side. But yeah, there are still a lot of plots for apartment buildings or residential buildings or commercial buildings.
Is there any upcoming projects in those?
Yeah, I mean, there was and there will be a lot more coming. But
Nothing
all of them,
announced though.
I mean, they sell every month they come up with a building or two, or every 2 months they have like a complex. The
Yeah.
last ones were palace residences, which is very significant, by the way, because there's not a lot of palace residentials around Dubai. One is in downtown. There's one launched or two launched in Dubai Creek and one here in Dubai Hills. Unlike Address, where Address is like there's 6 in downtown, just in
Yeah.
downtown. Then there is in Marina, then there is JBR, then there is MR Beachfront, 3 in MR Beachfront, and there is one in Dubai Creek. And Dubai Creek is massive. So expect a lot more addresses over there later in the future.
Yeah, and just to wrap up, how's the community? I know you briefly spoke that it's very pet friendly, but how's the
I think there was a
community in
report
general?
by Knight Frank just this year that it is one of the most the highest demanded community in all of Dubai. So I feel like Dubai Hills will be like number one in demand. And like Emirates, I mean, it's starting to attract people from Emirates Living, from ranches, and like people are starting to look into Dubai Hills more. Obviously, it will reach to a point where the prices just shoot up until it stops.
Yeah.
Because I will have that money for like, let's say for example, okay, so I'm coming for a 6 million budget. All of a sudden it's worth 8 million now. Now I can't afford it. So the demand will decrease because of the prices. So then it will have a price correction later. I wouldn't say crash, price correction.
Yeah.
Like it's over peak the price.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for us.
Yeah, I mean, we speak a lot on Dubai Hills,
Dubai
hopefully.
Hills. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's it from us. And yeah, thank you for watching as always. And any last words?
Dubai Hills is amazing.
All right, we'll see you guys. Thank you.